Thanks, Sam, so much for the introduction and also inviting me today. Hi, everyone. I've only got a few minutes and I'm here to talk about a big concept like the future of fintech and crypto. So I'm just going to jump straight in and start with a quote from Einstein, who said, if you want to know the future, look at the past. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. In terms of the past, I'd like to start with the Morgan Stanley analyst, Mary Meeker, who was known as the Queen of the Internet. For you who don't know Mary, let me give you a bit of a background. In '95, did the famous Netscape IPO, which kicked off the dot-com boom. She also bookended that in 2004 with the Google IPO, but that's incidental. But the thing that really made her name was in 1996, she published her first Internet Trends report, which was a scan of the market and a prediction about what was going to happen in the market. And she had an incredibly good track record of predicting things that were happening years ahead. And they all coming true as well. She also then started producing annual reports on topics like online advertising, search, internet in China, e-commerce, and these are the things that made her name as the Queen of the Internet. She now runs a very successful VC firm. Mary was known for her predictions, like I mentioned. One of the interesting ones she did, and she got spot on, was predicting the year at which smartphones would outsell the sales of desktop and laptops combined together. She predicted 2012, and it was absolutely 2012. Interestingly, Snapchat, our host today, was founded in 2011, so very prescient for a camera and mobile first company to come out the year before smartphones basically took over as a device of choice. 2012, interesting, is also the last year that Gen Z were born. So the Gen Z generation lasts 15 years, 2012 being the last one. So the first cohort were 15 in 2012, the youngest being born. Going now to the advent of 2022, that means we have a bunch of Gen Zers who are already old enough to choose who they bank with and choose who they invest with, and a bunch more who are about to get to that stage. So I'm presuming, looking at the audience of this, they're the demographic that you guys will be targeting. Back to Mary. Mary had a party trick where in the late 90s, early 2000s, she would hold up yellow pages and say, remember this, everyone. And she would say, do you remember how this was your one-stop shop? You know, whatever you needed, you went to this one place to find it, whether it was a dentist, a plumber, piano lessons, new windows, locksmith, whatever it was, you went to the yellow pages. And then she would put up a picture of Craig's List and say, this is where you go now. And it was a homepage of a terrible website which still runs with basically category links. And that's where you would go to find what you need in the internet age. So that was her party trick. Back to 2012. In 2012, a VC firm called Sparks Capital produced a seminal report of their own where they introduced the topic of unbundling. And what they did was they took that Craigslist picture with all the links, and then they put lots of startup logos around it, framed it with these startups, and put arrows showing which startups had carved out certain sections of Craigslist and just specialized on that topic. So rooms to rent would be Airbnb, dating, Tinder, jobs, LinkedIn, and literally just, I think, over 100 startups they indicated. And the interesting thing was the majority of these startups were having revenues now which were in excess of what Craigslist had at a whole at peak, which showed the world that unbundling can actually make a massively successful internet business and what we now call a unicorn or a decacorn. If we think about this as a concept, so it's one of my favorite concepts, the whole cycle of unbundle. What happens next after that unbundle happens is there are two separate activities that happen simultaneously. The first one is there is a further unbundle where you get the niche within the niche. You know, LinkedIn was a job site, or not really a job site, more of a talk about how amazing I am, and there'll be jobs coming off the back of it. If you want to find niche work now, there are niche job sites. So if you want to work on an oil rig or a gas rig, you go to RigZone. If you want to date within your religion, you can go to, instead of going to Tinder, you go to JSwipe or Muzmatch for Muslims. You know, there are niche within niches, and all of these now are very successful, profitable businesses as well. The other thing that happens is the rebundle, where the clear category winners, they hit a kind of a limit on the growth they're getting now because they're dominating their category, and they start encroaching into other people's categories. And they start rebundling, which, if ultimately successful, will make them back into what they unbundled in the first place. So let's now apply this concept to fintech first and then crypto. If we think about fintech, the Craigslist are in the UK what we call high street banks or main street in the US. The unbundle has happened from the challengers. So over here, you know, the likes of Monzo or Starling or Revolut, in the US, we've got Chime or Varo. In LATAM, also got Nubank. Lots of different poster child examples, Kudo in Nigeria, etc., who've done an unbundle. And they generally start with a simple product like a prepaid card, a currency travel card, something like that, that gets them a customer base. And then they keep adding more and more features. And basically, if you go to the bank homepage, adding more and more of the products and services that the bank that they've unbundled offers you. So that's kind of the unbundle and then a rebundle. The unbundle of the unbundle in the fintech space would be people offering niche banking services. So a bank account designed specifically for creators and the kind of lumpy and delayed cash flow they get. In the UK, we have one of those called Expo. Bank account for children and having parent supervision of the accounts and tasks and rewards and pocket money being brought through the app. That would be Go Henry in the UK or US. So we're getting that niche within niche, and we're getting the winners of the original unbundle of fintech rebundling up as well. If we now shift this to crypto, in the crypto world it's slightly different. There wasn't really an unbundle to happen because the legacy investment managers were never really offering coins. Coins itself is a new asset class. And so a bunch of people said, right, I'm going to set up an exchange. I'm going to set up somewhere where you can go and buy and store your coins for speculation. And so we got the big category winners, a Binance, a Coinbase. Then people said, right, we're going to allow you to do derivatives. So FTX, we're going to let you hold and earn yield on the coins that you have, like a Block FI. We're going to give you a card that actually gives you cash back in crypto as you spend, crypto.com. So we're seeing the niche happening. The rebundle, we're getting a little bit. I'm not quite seeing it yet, but Kraken have applied for a banking charter in the US, and they want to be a full, front to back custodian now for your crypto. But if we think about the future, if we look back at Einstein and what is the past going to tell us about the future for me? First off, I'm interested to see what happens with crypto. Are we going to see crypto exchanges start offering non-crypto asset classes and allow you to have a mixed portfolio, allow you to have your coins alongside, fractional share purchases, or even pieces of oil or pieces of gold, going to commodities. There's lots of different things they can allow you to trade within a single portfolio, which can be very interesting and widen the amount of revenue they make. Or are we going to see niches? Are people going to target certain demographics with their trading? Are they going to target female traders or younger traders or certain languages or countries who haven't quite got into that space? So there's lots of opportunities for niche within niche. We're already seeing the category winners start rebundling in crypto. And I think what the past is showing us, this cycle will continue, with the exception being when there's a brand new medium like the internet tearing up the yellow pages that allows people a brand new playground to play with. And that might be Web3, it might not be, but that's what I'm looking forward to see in the future. Thank you so much for your time and listening. I hope that was of interest and of value to you.